You there, Renard?
Yes. How you doing, Ritar?
How you doing?
Fine. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, good. Well, I was just checking my phone to see if somebody had called me to say that we wasn't having class.
Oh, well, it's just two of us so far.
So far. I know Shelley. I think Shelley had to go down to her mom's.
Okay.
I think she told me that early in the week. That
She didn't tell me. So, okay, but that's okay.
Well, she had called me. I think maybe Monday or Tuesday, can't remember. But anyway, and talked to me at, just in generalities, nothing special. Like if she had a moment, I think she was, I don't want to give up, she may have been making something, doing something or whatever. Anyway, I spoke to her for maybe.
Come by to teach that girl.
I was at the hospital. That's where I was. I was going to the hospital, and I think I went down there Tuesday. My appointment was Wednesday. Anyway, Wednesday she called me, and I was at the hospital, and I had to rush to get off because they had called me.
For you to go in, huh?
To see the doctor. Yeah. So how's everything with you today?
Oh, everything here is all right.
Good. The weather up there is decent?
Decent, yeah, because we get the sun every day, but it's like, what is it now? Oh, 68 degrees.
That's standing in front of the refrigerator, right?
That's right.
Not completely inside. Yeah.
And that's unusual for Jonathan.
Yeah. He maybe he had to leave or something. I'm not sure. But usually you get a message or something if he had a change of plans.
Right.
He might be outside doing something and didn't pay attention to the time.
Oh my goodness.
So anyway, I just
Shelley has so much on her plate, Renard.
Yeah. Well, the baby wasn't there when was she there? She might have been in school when she called.
She's in school. She usually leaves about 8:30 and comes back about 4.
Yeah. This appointment I had was at 11, and I got there early. I got there at 10, so she must have called me about 10:30. Something like that. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Anyway, trying to get that done.
You and I. So how's it going? What did the doc say?
Well, the doctor only see me once every 6 months, so she looked at my blood work, and she just thought our meeting was over. She said, "Oh, everything looked great." She said, "Oh, you lost a lot of weight." I said, "Yeah, well, I went from 198 pounds down to 179, and I think I'm going down to 100."
Wow, that's 20 pounds, Renard.
Yeah, well, I didn't do it intentionally, Rita. I just, with Jill been working for Joe and I, instead of me trying to cook every day, because I know that I don't want my wife waking up to cook for us and stuff like that. She only cooks 4 or 5 hours a day. So I decided I buy the TV dinners from Marie Callender's and a couple other places.
You guys still have Marie Callender's? They closed them out here.
There's still one in Santa Monica, I know, still open, but and that one was over, just going right off of National Boulevard and what street is that? And the one that run into the VA yard, whatever that is.
Okay.
But anyway, I was there's Brother Gary Cooper have showed up, so.
Okay.
Hey guys.
How are you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
We're just shooting the breeze because our man communicator is must not be around. He might be outside, so we just figured we'd just hold in here for a while. But anyway, Rudy and I were just chewing the fat, and then nothing else. Let me see.
Right, sometimes fat chewing is necessary for the nerves in the brain. So the insulation for chatting is good.
Yeah. My wife got a new pressure cooker, a new one, Rita and Gary, and I was in there trying to cook put a pot of beans on under the pressure cooker before I got started. So when I came, Rita came right after me. But that's what I was trying to do. So if you hear an explosion, you know I didn't do it right.
No, I remember that so much. So when I was a young man, I think I did it in my mom's kitchen. Being nosy and unsnapped that pot.
Oh, yeah. No, you didn't.
Yep, 2nd-degree burns all on my arms and.
Oh my goodness!
I've never forgot that.
I don't think you would. Most people don't even mess with that.
And then I'm one of them now. I see if my wife got a pressure cooker. I don't even bother. I just tell her, honey, it's making noise. So I don't do that.
Because those suckers used to blow up. They would blow the lid off.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Well, I thought...
And it had a big gauge on the top, because I still have one that's got, I don't have the gauge on the top now, but I still have that pot because it's one of the largest ones that I can cook in.
Right.
But... Oh, my gosh.
I see another foolish thing I did. I think I was 6 or 7. You know those old wringer wash machines that, you had to put the clothes in and they had the
and you put your arm through?
Put my arm through. It broke the bones in my arm.
Ooh,
my shoulder. I still got that scar on my shoulder today. I'll say 6 months in the hospital.
Damn.
So, boys be managed anyway. Get Christmas toys, whatever, you take them apart. The parents look at you like, are you crazy? I just work for that. But that's the type of boy I was. I'm always inquisitive. But to this day, my dad did everything that I worked with. I had the blessing of working with electricians, plumbers, pipe fitters. So I took all of those skills in my manhood. So that was a blessing. I could just about fix anything with my hands. I got the tools.
But then, Gary, all of it, you had to fix the stuff in your household. You didn't have handyman, as they call them now. Handyman. Because poor Shelley is looking for someone she can rely on, anybody she can trust, because half of them up here are scammers.
They are. They are.
They are.
You can get one that's loyal, keep them. Not restricted to gender, but some women are better electricians, and men don't do electricians. They do plumbers. Some women are carpenters. So, yep. Wherever Yahweh gives a gift to a vessel he's in, yeah, if you can get one.
I did a favor for a lady one time, a Filipino lady, and she had begged me that her architect had scammed her and please help me. And she walked on one of my sites where I was building some houses to sell, and she came in. She said, "Oh, Mr. Vine, I heard about you. I need you to help me." I said, "What do you mean help you?" She said, "I need you to help me finish my house." And I hired a handyman to come and help do the electrician because he was the cheapest. And I didn't pay attention to it. And the wire that runs to the kitchen is a heavier wire than the one that runs to your walls, because you have electric microwaves and all this other stuff in the kitchen, 4 or 5 outlets running at the same time. And he put one in there that was under the number. The thing is, 8 or 9 supposed to be running to the kitchen, and I didn't pay attention. And all of a sudden, we finished the house, and she kept saying, "My circuit breaker keep kicking off." I said, "I wonder why." Come to find out, he put the wrong wire in to the kitchen, so they had to run it out on the outside of the wall, down the wall, into the back of the house, down the wall, and then come through the wall to plug back into the
room. What? So there's too much resistance. There was too much resistance with high kitchen items. And he put that wire on the same surface and it kept blowing. Yeah.
I had 2 problems with the job. She begged me. She wanted Now she lived in the inner city, deep in the city, and she begged me to put a tin roof on, and a metal roof, not a tin roof, but a metal roof. Anyway, so she hired the guys to put the metal roof on, and she wanted to put a skylight in. I put the skylight in. The roofers didn't waterproof the skylight, and when the rain came inside the house, I'm not doing more work for her. And I did it for her. She harmed me to death. She got mad. I said, lady, you couldn't pay. You don't have the money. I'm cutting corners to help you, and you saying, well, get this guy, get that guy. That's why I don't do work for other people today. I made a mistake here. Shit, I don't do work for folks like that. The people pay me. I mean, not pay me. I don't work for them.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Sometimes you can learn them skills easy yourself. Go to YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube University.
But anyway, if you hear something like a gun going off in the background, you know it's my pressure cooker. I hear it steaming in there, and I just turned it on. When a little valve come up, I'll pay attention to it. Anyway. How you doing? Miss Sherry, how you doing?
Oh, hi. I'm just listening. It's been a little bit hectic morning, so I was just listening.
Are you at home?
Yes. Mm-hmm. We're trying to get Missy to take a nap while we have class, but that ain't working out. That ain't working out. The therapist came early today, so so she in there full of energy, which I thought she'd be going to sleep.
Yeah. And she's not gone to sleep?
No.
And the therapist come on Sunday?
Yeah, I had her come because I know that it's important for everybody to be able to make their little dollars. So since she won't be here next week, let her come this weekend to make up, at least 2 days. Yeah, because next week I'm gonna see if I can get a break.
Okay.
Let her go and visit with family, and I can get some stuff done around here by myself. Finish up that tile, and maybe get somebody to put the mirror up.
Oh.
So, Renard, you over there cooking with the pressure cooker?
Yeah, it's brand new. She just bought it, and I'm looking. They got the little red pop-up valve. And I hear it hissing. It's brand new. I thought I locked it down. It is locked down, but it's dripping a little water. I don't know what's going on with it, but anyway.
Is it electric one or the one on the stove?
One on the stove.
Oh, no. Man, you got to get you one of the electric ones.
I got 2 or 3 crock pots. I want to put in a crock pot, but she said
no. They have a pressure cooker that looks just like a crock pot. And I tell you, I can cook greens and beans perfectly done for a big family in 1 hour. I love it. The other day, I had found a family-sized pack of drumsticks for $5, and I put all of them in the pressure cooker and turned it on 50 minutes, and I tell you, you could eat the bone.
I hear it spitting and hissing over here, so I may turn it off in a few minutes.
Well, now just let it go. It'll.
The red valve haven't popped up yet. That's when it pops up. It's at its maximum, I guess. Anyway.
Oh yeah, the ones that look like a crock pot, they have it on there too. But if you turn it, no steam comes out while it's cooking. What I usually do when I know it's done, I just unplug it and let it cool down, because that way all your flavor stays inside.
Yeah. Let me see this one.
So you had to get up early, Shelley, so she could come?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, it was not too early, but I had to make sure she had bath, hair wash, and breakfast, you know.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I told her come at 10, so she left at 1.
Oh, my God. She stays there a while, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 3 hours.
Wow.
So, yeah, and I figured, you know, I wanted her to at least have a better part of her day as well.
Okay. All right.
You know.
Wow.
So if she came early, you know, she's already home, not leaving here when it's dark.
Okay, that's a good thing, yeah.
But normally I would have her come at 3 o'clock, so when we start, you know, I don't have to worry. It's all right. She can take she in the bed, so hopefully she'll drift off and take a nap. Yeah. So, we got a scripture today?
I'm just waiting for someone else.
Second Timothy, 3rd chapter.
Okay. 2:10.
Yeah, 2 Timothy, 3rd chapter.
Wait, one second. Let me.
Which one did you get, Gary?
2 Timothy.
Gary, which one is it? Philippians, the 3rd chapter?
Yeah, 2 Timothy.
Which one is it?
Yep.
That's what we saw last week, right?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
With Jonathan. I think Jonathan said something about Philippians, the 3rd chapter. Rita read it, I think.
No, this one he said 2 Timothy.
Oh, 2 Timothy. Oh, okay.
Oh, and I'm in 1 Timothy. Come on.
Well, at least you're close by.
Okay. This know I know also?
Yes.
This know also, 2 Timothy, 3rd chapter, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful and unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of Yahweh, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sin, led away with divers lusts, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of truth, not as Jannes and Jambres withstood Moses, so do these who resist the truth, men of corrupt mind, reprobates concerning the faith. But they shall proceed no further, for their folly shall be manifest unto all men, as theirs also was. But thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long-suffering, charity, patience, persecutions, afflictions, which come unto me at Antioch and at Iconium and Lystra. Where are you? Antioch and Lystra. With what persecutions I endured, but out of them all of the Creator delivered me. Yea, and all that we live. Yea, and all that will live godly in Yahshua the Messiah shall suffer persecution. Okay? But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them, and that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through the faith which is Yahweh. All scriptures is given by the inspiration of Yahweh, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instructions in righteousness, that the man of Yahweh may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. That's your 2 Timothy 3.
Hallelujah. Yeah. That's a meaningful and memorable scripture, because you don't want to be the one of those that sat there and never ever, sitting there hearing the gospel being taught and not receiving the true divine understanding of what's being said. And also you want to recognize that the one that's teaching you is Yahweh himself. And that's what that's saying, because nobody knows the purpose of Yahweh but Yahweh himself. And if you have someone that's explaining to you and telling you and showing you, and they're going through all of that, and then the boss in you sanctions it, you should recognize, who that is and what's being said, because that's to lead you up to who you are.
Yeah. I think I looked at one of Glenn's from 1988, this morning, and he was talking about similar things like this, how that the people, now without knowledge and stuff like that, and about other stuff, and they're preaching Yahshua. But it's a lot.
Right.
This pause with us about a lot of people that came out of our class. It gave them an opportunity to run away without anybody looking. I mean, because they'll speak to you if they run across you, but beyond that, they don't want to have nothing to do with gathering together.
Right. Which is sad. How do you spend the best part of or the most valuable years of your life in this doctrine, and then later on not want to recognize?
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yep. Gotta recognize who you are, But then, hey, it's hard.
And you can't even say, and I speak even concerning the kids. Once you turn 13, you're accountable. 12, you're accountable for your own self, according to Yahweh,
Right.
Right. So, and, a lot of times a child, even at a young age, is more sensible than an adult in certain situations. They can say some things to dumbfound you, So, so we're without excuse of not being able to hold fast and recognize. And I would say all the time,
just
what they say, out of the mouths of babes. So that makes you without excuse, in this doctrine. Because if you sat there like I did, like I tell mine, you sat there under the boss just like I did. And you heard the words and got it just like I did. And you either step up and take responsibility and recognize who you are, or I'm not responsible for that. You deal with Yahweh on your own, alone and by yourself. As they say, you come in by yourself. Even if you're a twin, you can't both come out at the same time. One come out and then the other one come out. So you're coming out alone and by yourself, and when you leave here, you're going to be alone and by yourself. You know?
Yeah. I always think about what would be going through their mind when they see you. It's almost like they recognize that you're condemning them. I'm not condemning you, brother. you condemn yourself.
And that's true. That's how they did with the old man. You know, they those that would come. Yeah, they were condemned in their own consciousness. Why? Because you know what you're entertaining. You know if you believe or not. I'm glad to run into somebody that I know knows and that recognizes who they are. That's a glorious feeling because we know that we're far few and in between.
Yep.
You know? And I mean, and it's like not being lonely. You're grateful to run into someone that knows what you know, understand what you understand.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. You're glad as well. I'm sorry, Shelley.
No, I was going to say when the founder received the vision, hey, he was lonely. He had to raise some up, you know, to be able to talk to. You know? alone by himself. That's a cross. You talk to the man and he looked at you like you're crazy. Where'd you get that from? Who told you that? You know, it has to be Yahweh in you to cause you to reconcile that the language that they're speaking is one that you accept and understand and willing to abide by, but to keep running and running and running and going in a different direction to stay away from anybody that you may run across. I looked at Denise's memorial and I was shocked. Henry Sanders walking around with a great big old staff, a can, a big old stick. I lost a lot of weight. Yes. Look, I got shorter.
Yeah. And then Noreen hugging me like if I was a long lost brother. I said, this chick is wacko.
Yeah.
But if you invite them to class, they'll say, oh, that's nice. But that's the end of that. That's the end of that. They don't want to come. They don't want to be bothered.
Uh-huh. No, but then they want to, but let something go wrong.
Yeah.
They're going to be seeking your prayers.
Right.
Wanting to know. And some, look, and I feel some about some, like, like Dad would say, if I don't see him again in life, I'm all right. That's me saying, right. You know, and not that I hate him or feel any other kind of way, but when you know a character and they know they're not going to change, you don't want to be bothered with that foolishness because you're always just waiting when that moment going to come because you know it's going to come, where they're going to act the ass, you know? Where they're gonna betray you. You know, you already know it's coming because it's their character. It's what they do. You know, you know. I mean, it's not that you're passing the judgment. You recognize what that is. That was why the old man could say those things about Dr. Harris. He recognized what it was. You know, who he was, how he was, the character. It ain't gonna change. You know, being that way, and you hear things like it was his mom that said he was that vengeful type person. You know, if you ever proved him wrong about something, then he'd sit and wait, lurking, to try to do you harm in some type of way, to feel like he could win the battle. And then you have those where you can say there was a loving person, no matter whatever happened. You know, that character, loving and graceful.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how we know each other, by those attributes.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
You know, I look at how unconfining it was for Glenn and the founder to take the body off. It was not. They just did it. I mean, there was no. You know, there was no you standing on your head and everybody got to come and lift you up. I mean, they just did what they had to do. But I watch Priscilla and Glenn's first wife. What's her name?
No, actually, that's not the first wife, but she's the second wife. But we know Frida.
Yeah.
Jason's mother. But remember, he told us he had married a woman and went away he was in the army, and his mom tried to tell him, and he would be sending all his money home, and when he got home, the woman was pregnant and knew he hadn't been there, you know, and so, I mean, of course, that led to a divorce, but that was his first wife, and then, but the child was not his child, but then he met Frida, who was 10 years his senior, and then she got pregnant with Jason, but that was the only kid he had, you know. But then, but there was, that first wife was, I don't remember what her name was, but she lived in Ohio. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I watched them how they were begging for, I guess, not really begging. They were out of sync. I put it that way. Frida was telling me. I remember her lips was all peeling because I picked her up every Sunday. When she went to class, I used to have to pick her up. Me and my wife picked her up, and her lips would be peeling from dryness and stuff like that. And she was peeling the scabs, was feeling the flesh back off her. And I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "Well, he's going to be there today." So I thought she meant she was going to see Glenn. And she put the lipstick on, and it's like putting lipstick over a scab, you know. And I couldn't understand. I said, "Isn't that painful?" But and then I asked her, I didn't ask her who she was waiting for because I just presumed that she was talking about Glenn. And she said, "No, I'm talking." And then she mentioned the Marine. What is his name?
Danny Neela.
Yeah, Danny Neela. I was shocked. And then with Priscilla, she had given all them to one of them TV evangelists. I said, "Brother, what's going on here?" I just felt bad for them anyway to be in that position.
Right.
But I said, "Darren, that just shake me up now. Don't wait till the end. Get my attention now. Wake me up. If seriously wake me up. Don't send me in a dissolution where I'm talking about going out into space."
Right. Look, you want to be
fully conscious.
You want your strength in your old age. You might can't lift 50 pounds, but when somebody come and ask you those things of Yahweh, you won't miss a beat. You know, that's the strength you want to maintain and have.
Right.
You know, whereas with some, and I don't know how long I'm going to live, but I don't ever think that Yahweh has declared to be in that position in me. I'm going to be able to speak the truth till I leave up out of here. You know.
And, we went to a luncheon for one of my groups that I did, and they said they did the Grinch that stole Christmas, that thing. And so they said, we need to hear people that have Grinch miss for this time of the year and all of that. And I said, number one, you should realize that he wasn't born in the winter time. And everybody go, yeah, no kidding. I go, and also that I said, I just advised you, this is a group of people, maybe about 15 or 20. And I said, and everybody is celebrating this, and all of a sudden, when you come to this time of the year, everybody is so wonderful to you. They love you. They're gracious. They're all this. I said, and as soon as the January 1 comes, they're back at you. You're a bitch. You're crazy. I can't stand you. You're this, that, and the other. I said, well, why can't you guys be like that all year long? And they all just laughed, but they knew it was the truth. You know, everybody is so wonderful to you. They're just so gracious, and they just love you to the nth degree. Come after the new year.
Piss them off and see how fast they strike you in the head.
They turn on you. Anyway, but then to say, well, you know, I don't know if anybody paid any attention to it, but what is it? One of those actors did something on Christmas. Oh, I can't think of his name. Costner. He did a deal on Christmas talking about how back in the old days they did this and that he wasn't born in December and that they didn't stay in an inn and all of this kind of stuff. And I said, well, give me a break, you know. I said, and half of these people, you know, they gobble that shit up. But anyway, they all agreed that Christmas is not the time of the Creator's birth, you know. So the Savior's birth, they say now. But some of it had truth, and the others would. You know how they do it.
Yeah.
They flub on it.
The scripture that woke up about that was saying, "Woe unto a woman with child in the dead of winter." There's no food and nothing to eat out there. Others, you know, the snow got the ground covered.
Right. Look, because I know when I was younger, I didn't know nothing about what went on in Egypt and Israel other than what someone said. But this time of the year, it's snow on the ground, you know.
That's right.
I would tell them, I say, but now the one you want to celebrate would be John the Baptist. He was the one born December 6th, you know. We say he came in 6 months before Messiah,
right?
You know, and that was his birthday, December 6th. That the forerunner. You know, and how Dad would say, and then he'd line that up with, you know, Elohim in the shape and form and Adam being placed on the 6th day, who was the forerunner, you know?
Yeah.
And lining it up. But it's just like so awesome that how all those things tie in, and if Yahweh don't reveal it to you, you'll never know.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
But because I thought that was awesome, because I never, you know, I thought of John the Baptist, you know, when he was the one that come in and was prepared to prepare the way for Yahshua. And then isn't that what Elohim did? Transformed into the creation, prepared the way for Adam and to be placed in the garden. And when I say Adam, I'm talking Adam and Eve. Yahweh called their name Adam. You know, he prepared the way for it, you know, and with no help, I might add. You know, they want to say the elephants help. Well, hell, Elohim was before any creatures was placed on the scene. You know,
he was there.
I mean, he had to bring in the elements. You don't just get dirt and air from nowhere. You know. Those are all those fine elements coming in. You got your air, your water, your fire, you know, and the spirit moving through everything. That's why he was able to say, Adam was able to say it was good and very good. Why? Because everything manifested pointed Yahweh, you know, pointed him out.
I think they had that back. I was just thinking in Jerusalem and Bethlehem and some places like that, they may have camels, but they didn't have the elephants.
Oh.
I'm feeling like somebody.
But you know, I've been thinking about the class over there in Florida. You know, it's like, man, do they ponder on they fit the scripture that was read earlier.
So this like burgers one to serve with consent.
Is that the news?
Was not somebody, but one of us has somebody else speaking.
Not me.
Okay.
That thing is gone now.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, that was my folks in this house trying to figure out what they wanted for dinner, tacos or this. So you hear voices running back and forth. That's why a lot of times I mute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jonathan is muted too.
Right. So yeah, I mean, what I was saying, when he read that scripture, I could just see those children that sat right there under the boss, and you claim to have all this book knowledge, but you don't have no divine understanding.
Right.
And I mean, I won't say none, but I mean, come on, you know, the finite things. The one thing that you should have gotten from all of that teaching was that you were Yahweh, and being able to take that responsibility on. Well, I mean, who wants to come and listen to a Yahweh with no power?
Right.
You know, when you get on that floor and you present yourself to the body, you're the son, showing the Father what you got. You know, what he's giving you. You know, they look at it the other way around. They think, I mean, we knew, but when you're up there delivering that message, you're the son. The son comes to give what Yahweh gave him, you know? And then when you're sitting there in the audience, you're the boss watching your son work, you know, to get it across. And yeah, I mean, like we say, Dr. Glenn Kinley, when you sit, he had his turn just like we did. Sat under the founder and learned. He was served. He was taught how to handle the body, you know, by watching his father. And that's what he taught us. When he got up to teach, he appealed to that Elohim in us. That's who he was talking to. He wasn't talking to your carnal mind. He was talking to the boss. That was who, you know, it's like my Elohim sat under my Elohim, you know? And that was how when we sat there, we should have been understanding the same way.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
The very same way. And not being afraid to go anywhere that somebody's going to ask you something you can't answer. You know?
You got a question?
Yes.
Years ago, probably around 27, 28 years ago, I had a surgery in Loma Linda, and I coded on the table. Now, when I coded, my heart stopped. I was gone for about 2.5 minutes. While they were trying to revive me, I saw what it seemed like a bright light leading up to my question. And it appeared to be Yahcalls. I mean, they looked like black or not white. Anyway, I know I felt so much peace. My question is, did Dr. Kinley ever talk about, or Glenn ever talk about judgment? Are we being judged now while we in the body, or is there a judgment to come after?
Yeah,
No.
the judgment now.
I didn't see anything flashing before my face. My entire life didn't flash. All I knew is I was looking down on my body in the operating room. I didn't go through. I wasn't an angel in the first place. So, but I was in the presence of so much peace. I didn't want to come back.
Yes.
So I'm asking about judgment. Did Dr. Kinley or Glenn Kinley ever discuss judgment in the physical body or out of the physical body?
You're in the judgment now.
Yes. Look, it's the same as if you drank too much tonight, you're going to pay for it tomorrow. Whatever you do in this life, you're going to pay for it in this life. It ain't no hell to die for you to go to, because hell is a state just like heaven is a state of being. So is hell, you know. And whatever you do here, you gonna be judged for it here. The only ones that's not is those demons that Yahweh said you cannot enter back in. Those are the only ones lost. Is that son of perdition, that host that fell, that Yahweh said no. So whatever you do, like, it don't matter. You're going to pay for it here. Now, so you want to live a good quality of life. But your days are already numbered. But who the hell want to lay up in a hospital for a year or 2 years because you was disobedient? And you can't move, you can't speak, you can't do nothing, but you in a tomb and you in darkness. Right. Who wants that?
I know I don't.
That's you paying because you ain't gonna hear nobody but the boss in that state. No, it ain't no hell to die and go to, no brimfire, and we ain't trying to hell scare nobody nowhere. And I remember Dr. Glenn Kinley making a statement a few times about some incidents, and he said, I'll see you in the lake. And he meant now, like you the one going to be in turmoil about that because you don't understand what the hell's going on from your manifestation.
Yeah,
and it's enough to put you in hell.
I'm a retired cop, but I always thought about the legal term double jeopardy. No, you pay for stuff, whether in righteousness or not in righteousness, here in these bodies, then you're going to have to go and then pay again. But I think about the poor man and the rich man, how when the rich man took off the flesh, or Yahweh took off the flesh in the body, I don't know the metaphysical meaning to that, but he had a taste, he had a sense of taste, thirst. And so I was wondering how Dr. Kinley or Glenn Kinley discussed that, because it was like he went to hell, after he left the body.
No, I would say he was speaking to him in hell, in that state wherein he was, and he was asking about his brother. I mean, who said he was buried? You understand? You listening, you reading a statement, but the man, he spoke to him from within in that grave where he was at, the body, and that was where he was in hell. Now he asking, he don't want his brothers and whatever to come here. Come where? Yeah, they got the Moses and the prophet too. They either hear him and remain in peace, or they can go to hell too, just like you.
But you just mentioned that that he wasn't in the body, or he was in the grave, and Yahweh was still talking to him, or what?
I'm saying the body, his body was the grave.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, got you.
Yeah, his body. Oh, okay. I'm gonna try again. Oh, one second. I'm sorry.
So I got a follow-up question after that.
Do me a favor. Give her up and give her these. Yes, I'm going to take the Bible. Okay. And so what he said.
Hello, Jonathan. Welcome.
Okay. You come back.
Hello. Sorry I'm late, everybody. Driving.
That's all right.
Don't worry, we're still talking.
I'm sorry, I had to step away for a second. What was said?
No, we're
where
just.
You left off at, because I got another question.
I got a comment about the hell thing, because when you understand what the lake is and how there's no hell, it's kind of interesting when you hear the founder talk back in the day, like, oh, if you don't want to listen, if you don't want to accept, well, then you can go to the lake. You can go to the lake. And it sounds like, at times, if you don't understand, it sounds like he's preaching hellfire, the way a Baptist preacher would. And when you understand it, he's telling you where you're going to go, whether you like it or not. You're going to be in Yahweh, and you ain't never left.
But then, when you don't understand, you in hell.
Exactly.
Because it's burning you up.
Right.
That in your consciousness. That's where you messed up. That's what makes it this whole segment of life here spiritual. Because everything is spiritual.
Right.
Yep.
So, second question. So when we take off the flesh of these bodies, or Yahweh's after these vessels, we're back in the presence of Yahweh, right?
You right where you was when you say you had that beautiful peace.
Yep.
Well, I have it now. I have it now. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm saying, when you say you saw the light and you didn't want to come back, you ain't going to want to come back.
Right. So that was the reason my question was that there was no light flashing through my light flashing between my eyes. Enough. They just told me, Mr. Cooper, we lost you for a moment. You know, and
your journey.
All I knew, that time seemed like it was forever. That short span of 2.5 minutes seemed like I don't know, but it seemed like it was endless. It was eternal.
And sometimes it can be longer, according to like when you come back, you be saying, "Oh, it was so quick," but hours could have passed. It could be
but then you also have people that have been in comas for years and then they come back. You know,
that's true.
And so it's just that journey that's not in that your time from beginning to end. Only Yahweh knows.
Right.
Oh, shoot, you ever hear about people?
Intermissions and some interludes in between.
Well, you hear that the people who go into a coma and they live an entire life. They go to school, they get married, have kids, graduate college, all this stuff, and then they wake up from a coma.
Yep.
And they just back to where they were. That shows you with exactly what you asking, Gary. You in a coma now.
Okay.
And you gonna wake up right where you left off.
We had a member in our Las Vegas class whose wife was in a coma for 23 years. And one day somebody came and told one of the members, the male, that his wife woke up. But he had went on and got married because they declared her dead after 7 years, legally. So, but she was still in a coma. And he went on and got married, started a new family. And then one day somebody came to class and told him that his wife woke up.
Wow.
Oh yeah, no. What I'm talking about is a person in a coma while they're in the state, the comatose state. They come back after being in a coma, and they testify that they don't know what's going on because they were just married, had kids, all this stuff, and then the reality was they was asleep in that bed the whole time.
Right.
And you have people that can be in a coma but hear everything that's being said.
Right.
A certain part of them is alert.
Yep.
Yep, that's so true.
Well, thanks, God, for answering that question. I appreciate it.
That's why we can say Yahweh is so phenomenal, because you can't nail him down to one particular thing. He's all things. I mean, as many facets as we say a diamond, or facets in a diamond, or reflections. That's how many ways you can see a thing in the boss.
All right.
60.
But good question, Gary.
I appreciate the answer, guys.
A couple of things I was getting into the lectures the recent lectures that I've been listening to Glenn, and thinking about it while I was in my sleep. The presentation to another person to get them to understand how this works, because everybody is using words, but some of the words don't completely fit them because they can't quite understand how could that be so. But I said I'd go to the blackboard and I'll take the blackboard. There's nothing on the blackboard other than the blackboard space itself, and I explained to them that's Yahweh. That's the Heavenly Father that you have not seen. Then I draw one line and say, now this is him in the shape and the form that's given to you in a vision. That's Yahweh Elohim. Then I'd go down a little bit further and show he put on a body, the Holy Spirit. That's what Adam is. And then all the other stuff coming out of him. I said, and when you look at it, when you talk about going to the lake and going to hell and going here and there, he's the person, he's the entity that created that where you're going to go. If you're going to go someplace other, you can't go any place other than within him, because he's everything. So how are you going to go outside of him to be in somebody else's lake other than the one that he's going to provide for you? But he said over and over that Satan will come all the way down to the end and then go to the lake. And he said that was, but Glenn, I remember Glenn teaching us this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Shelley or Rita. He said that in the next creation, well, we're supposed to be praying and making sure that the gospel is preached as far as we can get it to go, where that Satan don't appear in the next creation. Now,
he's going to or he's not?
Huh?
You say if he's going to appear in the next creation or he's not? Because I heard Ellsworth Wellmaker said at a convention. I can't say what year it was.
Well, it depends on the success of us cleaning up this one that we're in.
We can declare that he will not even be acknowledged in the next creation, but he gonna be there. But it's like they don't have to be. He don't have to be acknowledged because nobody will be aware of him. You understand what I'm saying? Because, but he have to be there because Yahweh, his so-called judgment was that you will be resurrected in every creation only to be put to death. So he will be resurrected but never ever acknowledged. Nobody will ever know. We can declare that they'll never even know about him in the next creation. And even in that is a death unto Satan because you don't exist.
Yeah. Right. This is what Glenn, this is what I understood him to say a long time ago. I haven't heard it recently, but I've been in class. I remember one of our classmates' sister was married to a man that they call the Hillside Strangler.
Right.
Yeah.
And he killed a lot of women and put them left their bodies on the side of the freeway and the hills and stuff like that. Anyway, he said that, I remember him saying at that time, he said, now your faith is this: you will not recognize what you did here, but you will come back again in the next age to be that same tormented, brainless person that's capable of doing those type of things. You will keep doing that until he didn't say until when. He said, but you'll be in the next creation. You'll be the one and the person that it happened to. Sometimes they're just as bad as him, but you don't see what you call their unrighteousness.
But so he would make the statement: you can buck up to where Yahweh will give you a body fitted for a lake. And that's the same as saying you were part of that host to start with.
Right.
Yes,
right.
you know.
Right.
Another question. The heaven, I think I asked this before, but I think I asked you a little more clarity about our names being written in the Lamb's Book of Life. And I read something Dr. Kennedy had said, I could pull up the document, where how he explained it, I forgot. Can you help me with that?
Wait a minute. What was it?
About the Lamb's Book of Life, and I think he talked about, Dr. Kennedy talked about the Book of Jasher, or...
Oh, you say the Book of Asher?
I think it's Jasher.
No.
No Jasper. Asher is on the book.
Right.
Were you saying something, Tilly?
Yeah, I was going to talk about the Book of Asher. Was that was that book that Moses wrote.
Right.
And it was placed in the Ark of the Covenant. And but he
saying that our names will be written in that book of life.
Well, the book of life is Elohim.
Right.
And yeah, your name was written because you're here.
Everybody's written in there.
Everybody that's here, that meant your name was written.
Right.
Or that you know that it was declared that you would be here because there were angels that were not given a decree to gather up in that anthropomorphic body. He did that among so great a cloud of witnesses. So there was some angels that witnessed Yahweh putting on that incorporeal shape and form, calling himself Elohim. And when he put that shape and form on, everything in the creation that was going to be was laid down there, in it. Only for at an appointed time for it to be resurrected or come forth.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, just like when you were born, if you have kids, all of your seeds are in you.
Right.
But there comes an appointed time when they'll be resurrected.
Thanks. That was a good analogy. That was a good analogy.
Okay. Good. Thank you, Yahweh.
Yes. Good morning. Thank you.
Yeah. It's all. It was all these. You know, everything has its time to flourish or be made known. You know, just like your knowledge in this doctrine. There was a time you didn't even know the name, but when that came, that was phenomenal, and it's still phenomenal.
Yep.
It doesn't lose its glory. It's just more added to it.
What?
You know.
Man, say, glory of Yahweh.
I find it to be it's wonderful to be able to talk about these things and not be misunderstood.
Yes. Yahweh.
I mean, because not everybody knows that these things and can understand them. We talk like this over there in Florida. I mean, for some, it might place them in a lake.
I'm thinking
about that. And that's what happens when you bring your own imagination into the game.
Yep.
Yahweh said, "You are not your own. Your body is nothing else." So I mean, it all stops and starts with Him.
Right.
It's funny too.
It's not your glory. It's not your glory.
The tape I was just listening to, which I want to finish again, of Glenn. He was getting into that right at the beginning of the class. He was talking about how you being careful when you're, or not being careful per se, but knowing what you're doing when you're talking to people about this great gospel and you're sharing it with them, that for some, you're writing them a ticket to the lake. And he said, now you don't worry about none of that. You don't let that hinder you. Don't worry about none of that when you're talking to nobody, because in reality, just like we were talking before, how you were saying, Shelly, how it's the son talking on the floor. Because ain't nobody should be getting on the floor thinking that they're giving some great thing. They should be hoping, Yahweh, speak through this vessel. You know, because that's the only one who can talk or reveal anything about Yahweh is Yahweh himself. But he said, and on that basis, It ain't you writing the ticket to the lake. It's Yahweh writing that ticket to the lake for them. So you just do what you're supposed to do as a son, and you give the great gospel.
Right.
Right. Yep.
Yep. I don't know how many times I'm going to hear that man tell all y'all to go out and give this great gospel and still look around and see people that were listening under him talking about we supposed to be waiting.
And waiting on what?
Oh yeah, power on high. And I was listening to class this morning. I mean, it was
waiting for you to give them a sign.
Well, no, it's like that wait for power on high. It's almost like they feel they're not supposed to be doing it unless they can be walking around patting their hands on people's heads, healing them of sicknesses and diseases. And it's like, do you really think that's the power? Because by the stuff you're talking, what you're talking is the power that you have, and here you go just bombasting it and throwing it out the door.
And the thing is, since you have not received power from Mount High, you don't have no business on the floor.
Yeah, there you go. Right? Because it goes right to what you was just saying when I got on the phone. When you was talking about how I know Yahweh ain't got a plan for this vessel that still have the power, which is the strength of Samson, is what it's really meaning.
Right,
to
exactly.
give that great gospel in my old age. I may not be able to lift 50 pounds, but I ain't going to slip or miss a beat when it comes to sharing this truth to somebody. And that's that power from on high. That's what the Messiah meant when he was walking around healing people of sicknesses and diseases and turned around and said, you're going to do greater things than I'm doing.
And it's like, I mean, bottom line, like Dad would say, I'm not going to lose my eternal life over you. You know, he already had it. He knew. And I'm the same, one whit. I ain't going to give up what Yahweh gave me, for your foolishness. Now, I'll go and I'll help you as much as I can. But I'm not going to the lake for you. And I know, and I'm able to go there and get you. But I ain't doing that. Because you know better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yahweh descended down where you at. But the lake don't bother fire.
Exactly.
But you condemn. Now I can go right there in that condemn where you are condemned in your state of being and help you with that. But if you want to insist on continuing in that vein, I'll be here when you come back. And it's just that simple. You got to understand it like that. You and Yahweh to be able to raise up and talk and be any old kind of way.
Exactly.
And you set the precedence, being Yahweh. You said what you would do. You declare how you would be.
You, Yahweh, said you wasn't going to be that way.
Yes.
Turn the faucet on. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, no, the faucet's running, Rita.
that my cup runneth over.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they don't understand. As they say, wide is the way to destruction, narrow is the way, to salvation. Because we can walk that fine line. Once you know you Yahweh, if all the whole host of angels can be put on a pinhead of a needle, how fine is that? Because they don't occupy time or space. They're one. Whether they be vast or condensed.
That's a mighty fine line in the subject right there. When it comes to understanding that you're Yahweh, you already laid down how you would be. You laid down how you would act in a situation. You laid down how you are, who you are, So it ain't you coming around saying, well, I'm Yahweh, and well, you know, I'd like to be a lamb, but I'm just a lion, and I got to learn to be a lamb. No, I'm sorry. If you ever claiming to be a lion, you simultaneously are a lamb. You can't claim one and not have the other.
Look,
you can't be like, I got to learn to be a lamb, but I'm a lion. It don't work that way.
No. And how I know it don't, when I remember going to the school, there was another school in Florida. I forget the place where it was, and I ended up going with Roger. And the speaker was up speaking, and I'm being honest, I was so freaking bored, I wanted to go to the bathroom. And and then I looked over there, and I saw that I heard Yahweh's voice say to me, now, I've raised you as lambs, but don't ever forget you have the potentiality to transform into a lion at will, you know? And I just kind of, and if you got to hear what they going to say. So I sat down, and I remained sitting there, and it was funny because they did eventually they called on me. Normally they won't, if you're not a dean or something, they won't call on you, but they called on me as a visiting speaker, and I was able to make my testimony, but I felt the presence of Dr. Glenn Kinley, that essence there when I was there, and it was just phenomenal because he said, I raised you as lions, as lambs, but you have the potentiality to transform into a lion at will, you know? So how are you going to be one and not the other? I'll never forget that. I hear him physically voice that, but he sure told it to me that day. I was sitting there in that class, and I was able to, I looked over, and the only one was sleeping in the class was the dean at that time, and Yahweh told me that, now that's what a dead body looked like. Corpse. Yeah, he was laying there sleeping, and he looked less like he should have been in a casket. And I was like, wow. And then when they called on me, and I went to go to the chart, the figure that they had painted on the chart that was supposed to be Elohim, I jumped. It scared the shit out of me for a minute because it was so hideous. It looked like that movie, The Gargantua. And I never did go back and touch that chart again because I was just thinking, wow, that was how do you teach from something that with something on it that looked like that, and you call that Yahweh? It was I was sad, you know, and I noticed that everybody that has ever painted their own chart, when it comes to Elohim, it reflects whoever that person is painting. When they finish with that figure, it looks like them. I said, wow, you know, you can look at the structure and see it, because the first ones that were ever done, they look like the founder to me. And that one on the body chart, it looked like Doc Gross. Yeah, if you look at that body chart and you ever seen Doc Gross and turn to the side, it looked just like him.
It's funny you say that too, Shelley, because I've always found it funny that those original charts that the Elohim's face, that smile, that kind of like not a heavy smile, it's just like the smile laid in the face, and to me it always looks the same as that picture of the founder on the AA Astro AA side where he looks the same way.
Yeah. I noticed that. And that's just Yahweh in you pointing out, you know, showing you from within. Mm-hmm. Yep. But I'm grateful.
Hallelujah, so am I. Daily.
It's funny because I was going over this within earlier, because over the week, just hearing some of the stuff on the floor, it was upsetting me quite a bit, and it was just troubling. And anytime I've encountered that instance of being troubled like that, I always just go within and look back upon Elohim. Like the time I saw Elohim, it's just that calls back up when I look within. And then it's funny to take my mind off of it, I guess, in a way. Revealing comes through it, because it's funny when I saw Elohim in that manner, everything around was white, like how Gary describes a white light.
Mm-hmm.
No dark, it's just white light. And it wasn't like Elohim was in the light. It's like he was the light. He was emanating the light that surrounded everything. Though I was looking at a form, it's not like the light was coming from somewhere else and the form was within that light. It's like the light itself was coming from that form, yet the form abided in the light at the same time. But it's funny because every time I call upon and seek to see Elohim within, it's like darkness, and then Elohim appearing within that darkness, like a light appearing from within the mystery. And it's funny when you don't, because it's like I've never thought about it.
I was just about to say it, that you're in the secret chamber seeing the light.
Exactly.
That
and
you projected, because you are the secret chamber. You're the darkness that did comprehend the light.
Well, and it's funny because that understanding came because these conversations that were happening out there about like seeing Elohim and I'm not talking about a glimpse and all this stuff, and it's like I've always taken upon whatever somebody says in regards to it, because like I've always been careful, because I've always have had to admit that I didn't research this. I didn't teach myself this in a sense as a man. I did teach myself this, but because on that note, whenever you come across somebody where you think what they're saying isn't right, instead of just blowing them off and being like, oh, I know whatever, I know it all, you take that humble position and be like, well, I didn't know it at all, so maybe I slipped up somewhere, and you're always sending me someone to set it right, and I know that's so I've always given the time. Now again, through the maturity and through growth, I have learned. Through that and through the maturity, I've learned, no, he's been right the whole time. So it's like,
and we never want to lose sight of the fact that just because somebody didn't come to one of these classes, that they have not witnessed Yahweh.
Right.
You know, because Yahweh didn't need these classes to show up. He didn't have one with the founder. You know, he didn't need that to prove. But he chose what he chose. But just because somebody has never come to class or been out somewhere, not even much part of what we would call civilization, don't mean that Yahweh haven't dealt with them. You know? And when they open their mouth, you'll know. You being Yahweh and one will recognize. Like the founder, they would run to the founder and be talking about, oh, Yahweh told me this and Yahweh said this and that. Well, hell, why are you telling me? Because if he told you, he told me. Hey, I'm that same Yahweh.
All right.
Did I tell you to go be with that woman? I would know. You ain't got to come and tell me that. But and that's how it was a lot of times. They felt like they needed to tell him as to be justified in what their wrongdoing. That's what they wanted. Justification.
No different than some confessions.
Yeah, but the founder was like, yeah, okay. That's why he didn't want to deal with the deanship. Because the doctrine is the power to fix all your crap.
Exactly.
But if you should need other help and oversight and not see, then, okay, then he was there to help you. And then a dean is somebody that you put your trust in, that you want to trust, that you're not gonna, that they're not gonna embarrass you. Put your business all out in the street, because if you wanted it out in the street, you'd have told everybody from the get-go. But sometimes we don't understand something. We may not want everybody to know we don't understand it. And we know a lot of times you may not know the answer to something somebody may ask you, but if you just be quiet and still long enough, Yahweh will show you, bring you that confirmation to give you that answer.
Absolutely.
And then I'm saying to this, don't be afraid to ask him. You know who to ask, but there are times when we want to know something, it ain't got to be about doctrine. And you just might be, something cross your mind, you may want to know. Yahweh show up and show it to you. But you, and I'm saying it that way, but it's like all you got to do when you put that question within yourself, you already declared a moment when you will reveal it. But that's where we want to be, our mindset, is conscious of who we are all the time. Even when you might feel in one of those a carnal moment, we can say, hey, but then it's move right on through that veil and elevate. We know how to do that. So yeah, that I did ask for, I when I make my prayer, a lot of times I'd say to Yahweh, for the sons I know, and the ones I don't know, and the ones I have met and never will meet, whatever they need, and there's a appointed time, may it be granted. And that way I feel like I've covered everything. Because, we have some brethren out there that you haven't met and that you may meet in your lifetime and may not. But we're not different from one another. But after a while, if those folks don't get it together, I'm going to cease worrying about them being ignorant.
I don't get it together.
And didn't Yahweh say that? once before with Noah, he said, the end of all flesh has come before me. He was just waiting after that.
Mm-hmm.
It was declared, but he gave a whole 120 years. You know, waited it out. But he was done with it. You know, done. And we could see with Dr. Glenn Kinley and the founder, they kept getting up and coming back, getting up and coming back until the body said no, you know.
Right.
And as long as they have strength, and Yahweh would, get up and get there, they did. And after a while, he said, no, okay, I'm done. But with both of them, it was down to, I think, the last time Dr. Glenn Kinley was in class, he only lived a week after that. Yeah. He was. Yeah. maybe not even a week. It might have been because he was there out the hospital. And then I went over. That was a Sunday. And then he came to class on that. Then Tuesday they were at his house. Wednesday I was there. He was gone. They acknowledged his passing on the 5th of June. But they acknowledged. I acknowledged him leaving out of here on the 4th. Mm-hmm. Same day the sun was put into heaven. Same day Yahshua took it off. Was in that 4th millennium.
I want to ask you a question, Shelley and Rita. At the memorial, I ask everybody, it's a shame that we don't get together at least once a year.
Right.
So they all agreed that it'd be nice to get together, even those that you least expect. Anyway, all the way down to Noreen, they said that got together at least once a year. So give some thought to where we meet and what month we're going to do it in, and then we'll start getting feedback from the others that have any comments about the meeting location. And then maybe it might come to bear sometime in the summer.
That's what I was thinking.
Huh?
That's what I was thinking, summer. So everybody will have no excuse.
I ask all of them. I says, it's too bad that we got to wait for somebody to die to get together. We should at least meet at least once a year. And they said, yeah, you're right, all of them. So I said, okay. So we'll talk about what location and, the park big enough for everybody to park their cars and all other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need a permit and all that? Get into that. And anyway.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. I agree with whatever. My month would be April. In the spring.
Okay.
But June is fine. Actually, this year June 6th falls on coming year. June 6th falls on a Saturday. April 15th is on a Wednesday. April 22nd is on a Wednesday. April 22nd is Dr. Glenn Kinley's birthday. And so the founder's birthday is on a Wednesday, too, the coming year. So, all right, well, you guys you can choose something. That's a Saturday, June 6th. So,
give it some thought.
Well, I guess if it's that Saturday, it would be more convenient for everybody.
Yeah.
If you did it in June.
And we can't go to Pasadena because it's still mud and dirt up there. Trying to put the back together, but they haven't done it yet.
It's not that bad over there, Rosemead area, right?
Rosemead.
Or even that, like I said, that park
On
that
Rosemead.
we had at the Girl Scouts.
That was
Off of New.
You're right. And where did we park at? We didn't have any special park. We just.
It was at a parking lot.
Okay, yeah, they did have a parking space. Okay. Yeah. Huh?
I'm not familiar with the area that much,
Yeah, Rita, you remember New when we used to go.
Oh, yeah.
Off of closer to like Alhambra, right?
Right.
The Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
Right, the girls, yes.
Yeah.
That's off of the 10.
Yeah.
I got that. Yeah, okay.
You didn't get it, but show us the name of the street. Remember the name of the street, the N-E-W, New.
Yeah.
Right, New, the street. Mm-hmm. Where we exit off of New.
Okay.
And before Jonathan and Bernard, before we close the class and all that, I'd like to ask you guys a question. Okay? It's about plumbing. Okay, in my house. Okay? So, and Shelley, whoever wants to listen.
Oh, you mean before, now? Go ahead, Rita.
Oh, no, after class. I just want everybody to just remain after closure. Because what we're dealing with now still has to deal with class. Okay. If you want me to, I'll do.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
okay,
we're not that formal. We're,
Okay, well, I have a problem.
Family.
I have a problem with my plumbing. Every time someone turns something on, it rattles. You can hear it all the way through the house. I had the plumbers to check it to see, and they said it's not my pressure, that my pressure is normal. But it's if you take a shower, it comes on it, boom, like it's rattling against something, like I have a loose pipe hitting against something. And, I'm not able to get up in there and figure that one out. But anyway, and that's what I want. But what happens is
Rita, have someone check for a blockage in your vent pipe. Your vent, when everything goes down the drain, there's a vent pipe that allows for extra air so that there isn't an airlock. Because when there's an airlock, it'll cause a vibration in all those pipes.
That's what the guy said. He said when everybody flushes or something drains out or something like that, he said that'll make that noise. But, and a lot of times when I turn another faucet on, it'll stop for a while until it's over. Now you got to tell me what was this airlock and the vent?
Well, when something's draining down the other pipe, it's like if you think about it's a vacuum pressure problem when something's draining down a pipe. Because when water drains down one end of a pipe, it creates suction at the other. The water itself is acting like
Hey, Jonathan.
You're fading from me, Jonathan.
Can you hear
Jonathan, text it to her, and then that way she'll have something to read to say to the plumber.
Okay.
Yeah,
that would be better.
So what you're telling me, because you know I'm on septic, would that have anything to do with it?
No. I'm just looking at Chat GPT for the reasons that some of it covered what John was talking about, but I can send this to you if you want.
Yeah,
you can do
send
it
it to
again?
her.
Yeah, I can email this to you. Let me get a pen. I just opened up Chat GPT to put that question in the query. What's your email?
Oh, Rita's Rag 3. It's right there it's on the thing. On my, if you bring it up, Rita's Rags 3 at yahoo.com. That's me.
Okay. I think I sent you something before. Okay, I'll put it in there. All right, I'll send it to you, and you can look. Some of that Jonathan's covered, but I can just take time to read if you want, or I'll still send it to you. It said pipes rattle for a few common mechanical reasons, usually related to water pressure, movement, or loose mounting. Here's a clear breakdown, plus it typically fix each issue. Water hammer, most calls. What it is a loud banging or rattling when a faucet, dishwasher, or water machine shuts off suddenly. Why it happens, fast-moving water stops abruptly, sending a shock wave through the pipes. Fixes, install water hammer arresters, add air chambers, older systems, reduce overall water pressure. Loose pipes, the second one. What it sounds like, rattling, tapping, or vibrating.
Okay, I'm not going to remember that, Gary.
No, that's why he's gonna send it to you by email.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, the bathroom. One of the bathrooms I just did this year, I had the option of putting in one of these little airlocks, but they're known for causing that issue. So I rigged out an entire vent system for them so that they wouldn't end up with that issue.
Okay, so you're telling me that it's an airlock that's causing this, okay?
You didn't have that problem in the past, right? You didn't have that.
My pipes are over 30 years old.
Oh yeah.
How long have you been experiencing the problem, Rita?
Well, about
a year.
About a year right now. But before that, it was every now and then. You know.
You said your dishwasher was going out?
Yeah.
I'm wondering did your dishwasher ever overflow?
Oh God. Yeah. No, my dishwasher never overflowed, but my pipes leading to the sink overflowed. You know, that system there has broken down twice, and I'd have to replace the faucet and all of that from the dishwasher.
I'm just wondering if through the dishwasher issue, because only experiencing the thing within a year, it couldn't be loose pipes. Loose pipes would be showing up over the past decade or more. Because one little bracket holding a pipe wouldn't have caused that noise to happen through your whole house. It would be an isolated area. But what could have occurred is during a backup, the vent system being having something end up in it, which is causing a restriction of the airflow in the vent pipe, and a restriction of airflow in the vent pipe will cause that issue. So. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if it's only been within the year, then I would look into things that have happened within that year that could have restricted the airflow in the vent pipe, and then go from there.
Is there some way you flush it out or something?
See, that's the issue, because if the person ever put any elbows in the vent pipe, then when you're flushing it out, wherever those elbows are could act like traps for the water or whatever you use to flush it out. If it was like a manual flush, it's one thing, but I mean, and this is a crummy one. My personal thing that I would end up doing would be where that blockage could have occurred would be cutting open the vent pipe wherever there's an elbow in it or whatnot. But the problem you're going to run into there is the vent pipes are in the wall, and so you'd end up with a wall cut open to even diagnose, to figure it out. So it's one of those things that you either deal with it, or just to figure it out is going to be a little bit expensive. Yeah.
Well. Mm-hmm. Well, good thing it's not anything to do with your septic.
No. And really, it's really more of a nuisance noise than it is something to be worried about for your infrastructure. Yeah.
Right. Well. Well, with that, anybody have any other instructions today?
I got one comment, and it's
Okay.
a continuous comment I think we will all make, and we all share on this, and that is, I appreciate y'all so much.
Yes, me too.
Same here.
Me too. I mean, just the showing up. First, I would be sometimes raggedy tired and debating that old demon, but I'm like, no. I look. You don't even have to see my face. Just turn the damn phone on. But delight in hearing everybody's voice and knowing, number one, that we're all okay.
Yep.
You know.
Me too.
I agree.
No bad news.
Right. Love you all. Ain't trying to have any of you leave me right now.
No, that's right.
Yeah. Like, no, I'm hanging on tight. I know you guys are getting there, but I'm hanging on tight.
Me too, Kelly. Me too.
Yeah. But look, now we all gonna have to meet up soon this year, shoot.
Yeah,
I agree.
At some point. Well, I'm looking May.
Yep. Hey, that's on my game plan.
May would be great because my wife and I leaving the country in the last week of May.
Oh, well, we can do it before. My birthday comes first. No, what? Yeah, I'm the 5th. And, well, it's too soon for Rita because she's right around the corner, her birthday.
Which Saturday is near there? Or Sunday?
Huh?
Which Saturday or Sunday is near that?
Let's see. May. Okay, so May 5th falls on a Tuesday. So, well, you can do something the what? 2nd? May the 2nd? Because then yours is after then, which, okay, yeah, because Mother's Day is the 10th, right? This year, coming. So.
Well, I was going to say, Jonathan haven't met all of the crew, all of the old crew from Pasadena, and if we pull them together, we can combine the two activities at the same time.
Yeah. That would be fine.
No, Gary haven't met him either.
Right. So, yeah, we could all meet up and maybe find somewhere nice in Pasadena.
Okay.
Yeah, because it should be somewhere in Pasadena still.
I agree. I think that they're starting to redo the parks in Altadena.
Right.
And I'll try to find out when will they have the one on Lake Street open. At the top of Lake, down by Cherubim.
Mhm.
I'll try to find out when it will be open.
Oh, you know what, Renard? There's a nice park right there, on California.
On California?
Yeah. Right there. There's a nice park. I pass by it every time I go to the thrift store, and I see people have birthday parties and everything.
Yes, it's a big.
Yeah, it's like if you get off on Del Mar and California, and right there. You know where I'm talking about?
Yes. It's near the Arroyo. The street that runs through about Arroyo there. What is that street?
It's actually not that far. I mean, when you're coming off of Fair Oaks.
Yes.
If you Orange. When I get off the freeway, I get off of Orange Grove. So I take Orange Grove down to California and make a right, and the park is right there before you can hop on that freeway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's down. Yeah. It's not too far from. It's from Old Town there.
Yeah, that's a nice park.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we'll find out.
Okay.
The second, right? The second, you said?
Yes.
Okay. We'll find out and then see what everybody else. It gives Jonathan and Gary an opportunity to see the rest of the crew.
I know. Look, us to see them because I haven't seen Gary, and Vegas is not that far.
No, it's for us. No.
Right, not for us.
No, not for us.
Yeah,
all right, let me find out what my schedule's like, but yeah, I would love to see you guys.
Okay, well then we've got months to do that, okay?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, start looking. We're looking toward May the 2nd, which is a Saturday. Right. Well, we're going to plan a gathering this year.
Yeah, and I think that if we give enough time, a lot of them will come.
Right. So well, we can put out an invitation in January.
We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they have 5 months to
save this date.
Right. So, well, with that being said, I thank everyone for showing up. And now unto him who is able to keep you from falling, to present you faultless before the presence of his glory, with exceeding delight, to the only wise Elohim, our Savior, Yahshua the Messiah, our Sovereign, belong glory and majesty, dominion and power, both now and forever. Let us all say, Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Right.
Love you guys.
Don't leave me, Jonathan, a minute, okay?
Okay.
Please, Jonathan, I'm having this, okay? Shelley, are you?
I emailed that document to you too.
Okay, thank you, Gary.
Well,
Thank you. And Renard, when are you guys leaving? He left me already. I'll call him. Anyway. But do you think that with the stoppage of the having to pull the lever to bring the shower back on again, does that have anything to do with it?
So no. The only things that'll cause vibration in the pipe if it was in the water line is if there was an air in the water line.
yeah.
But air in the water line shouldn't be an issue that you're having, because air usually only gets to the water line if there's a crack in the service part of the water line, like where the water line's coming into, and it's sucking air as the water's flowing through.
Yep.
And if there was isolated air from cutting off a valve, opening something up, then that air would have flushed out as the water's open at the faucets or the fixtures. Now, the vibration, like you said, it starts when someone starts using the water and the water starts draining. That tells me that it has to be an airlock in the vent system. Now, it shouldn't be that your vents aren't fully obstructed because you don't have water backing up completely, because that's what would happen. The water would it wouldn't drain as fast. It would drain really slow, because it would almost have to like gurgle past an airlock.
Right.
But what it sounds like is there's a restriction in the air in your vent, and that like vents are supposed to be sized accordingly to drain, and so if a restriction occurs, it's going to have less flow, and that's what's going to happen. You're going to have a vibration because it's trying to suck that air behind it, and it's not getting enough air to really keep it from creating a suction in the vent.
Okay,
and
then
so
what I do, though, is when I hear it vibrating like that, if I open up another valve and let the water flow out, it seems to stop it for a few.
Yeah, because what happens is when you open up a different faucet and you have it start draining,
right,
that another drain into almost another air vent. It creates what's called a wet.
Okay, you're breaking on me. It creates what's called a what?
A wet vent. The sink that you open when the vibration starts to alleviate the vibration becomes a wet vent.
Okay.
So that's alleviating the vibration tells me that there's a restriction in the main vent.
Well, now how do I find? Okay, I have to call a plumber to find this vent.
Two ways a plumber can do it. The old redneck way of wherever you had the most recent backup to open the wall and cut the vent open and see if some obstruction got passed into there when the pipe kind of overfilled too much. The second way would be for a plumber to go up on the roof with a long snake cam, a wire cam, and pass the camera into the vent and see if there's any obstructions down the vent.
Okay. All right.
The issue with the camera one is your vent will be tied into multiple tracks of plumbing, and so he'd have to get lucky kind of passing down the right path, turn down one corner compared to another. But it's almost. But that's why I asked about your, because I remember you said you were looking at getting a different
dishwasher.
Dishwasher, and so that's why I asked dishwasher overflowing, because if you're on septic and your septic was really full, and it was full at the time, and that backed up, that could have made it to where water went up into a vent, and if it went down an elbow or something, then that water or that food particle or whatever would have been trapped down a path in the vent system.
Well, I've had problems with the dishwasher because a lot of times that from the garbage disposal and what have you, it backs up. You can actually hear it, and when it's doing all of this here. So maybe I just, if I replace the dishwasher and someone come in and see if that plumbing, because it has caused me to replace the faucet twice in that sink area.
Do you know how many vents you have on your roof?
No, but I can count them and see.
Yeah, if you have time in the daytime tomorrow, whatnot, when it's warm, look on your roof and just see how many regular black pipes. Maybe someone painted them white or whatever, but just the regular stub pipes.
Okay.
And those will be your vents in the house. One might be a dryer vent if you have it venting high. Most vents will vent out the side of the house, but
no, mine is my dryer vent goes right. It's near the concrete block. It's down below.
So any of those stubs on your roof, those will be your vents for your plumbing. Just take account of how many you have. And then see if, and when you take account of them, see if there's one that appears to be above where the kitchen is. Like, if it seems that way. Because that one would be the one that would be closest tied into your kitchen system. And if you had that particular one, I mean, if a plumber came around, he should have the same thought of checking that specific one. Yeah, because that's a troublesome one to troubleshoot without tearing into some things. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. It's
Anyway.
it's one of those episodes of This Old House, you know?
Yes, I have this old house. Yes, it is that. It might look modern, but inside you can tell it's had issues. The veins and arteries are beginning to crush.
Oh, that's primarily what I'm always working on, Rita, is this old house. About everyone. Most of the houses I've been working on were built in 1890 or around the 20s. So, and back then, you know, the Depression, you get around the construction that happened during the Depression, and you find all this cowboy plumbing and cowboy wiring that people used whatever they had to get it done. And then you gotta I think you're in better condition than that in yours.
Well, anyway, but this one was born in 19. And we bought it in 99, so you know it had to be there at least 2 years before that. So it was like 95, 96. But anyway, I have all of that, and we did a lot of remodeling, and Jim was we were very thorough in you know, doing the investigation of it. And this one here kind of threw me for a loop. And that was it, because I'm pretty knowledgeable about it. But I want to do the restructuring of the kitchen, because I think it's something they did with that piping right into there that caused me to have a lot of problems, you know. But anyway, that's it. And you know, when you have that concrete foundation, one of my neighbors told me that, one of my friends told me that they have a water line first, so they had to have it all, you know, taken up and redone again, you know.
Oh, so you're on a slab.
I'm on a slab, yes.
Okay, so you're not on a footing or any on the piers.
No, I'm on a slab.
Yep. So any type of primary plumbing, that is pretty extensive then.
Yep. Well, they came out and as long as I wasn't having a pressure problem, you know, I was aware of that. And so that he checked that out and said there's no pressure. So this is an air lock. It's like a vapor lock, because I used to have a Volvo, and my Volvo would get a vapor lock. You know, when you put gas in it and all that. Mm-hmm. And then it would stop on you. Boop. You know.
Yeah, it didn't want to suck any more gas.
Right.
Yep. And that's kind of what's happening. There's enough flow to where the system is still draining, but it's not flowing enough air to where it's almost locking. But every that you hear is air through it. Think about a bubble.
Yeah, so that's exactly what it is, you know. Mm-hmm. And sometime when more than one person take a shower, then you can hear it, you know. So
here's another one too. When more than one person is taking a shower, does the water in the shower start draining slower?
I don't know. No. Oh, what do you mean? Coming towards you?
Like it's not going down the drain as fast as it was if just one person was taking one.
No, I don't know. I've never been. No, I don't know that, but I'll ask them. Because the kids, I'll ask them if they're having water back up in their tub. Because mine are not just a shower. I have a shower and a tub, but in the other bathrooms there are showers in the tub.
Yeah, just ask them if when more than one person is taking a shower, ask them if when they're standing in the shower, if the water starts building up in the tub just a little bit.
Okay, I'll do that. Mm-hmm. And that means that it's not flowing where it's supposed to, huh?
It's not draining as fast as it should be, and that's indicative of the vent not providing enough flow.
Okay, all righty. That's it. Well, thank you so much, mister, for my lesson.
You're absolutely welcome, Rita. Anytime.
All right.
and if you get a pro to come out and check it out, go ahead and run by me anything they say, and I
sure will. All right. Thank you, Ben. And give everybody hugs and kisses for me, okay?
Oh, definitely. Thank you. I love you much.
Okay.
You have
love you much. All right. Bye now.